Okay, in this video we're checking out the Kangaroo camera from Caddx. This is another 14mm nano sized camera, and it comes with a little cable here for changing your settings. It also comes with the controller board to access the settings. Also comes with an adapter piece here so you can convert it to a 19mm mount if you want instead of the 14mm mount, and of course you get your screws for mounting. This is everything that comes in the box. This is an M8 lens, M2 hole for mounting there, and this is going to be similar to the RunCam Racer Nano and the Foxeer Predator Nano. And just for size comparison, here's the Racer Nano. This is with the 1.8mm lens, and if you line up the screw holes, the lens on the Caddx does stick out just a little bit more. The field of view is pretty similar to the Racer Nano and also to the Predator Nano. It's obviously using the same, I believe it's using the same sensor, but obviously Caddx has tweaked the firmware, and a little bit of differences here. We got a little plastic cover on the back of this camera for protection. It does feel a little bit lighter than the other two, so let's go ahead and let's weigh this. So the camera is coming in at about 4.5 grams. If you are interested in the weights of the other two cameras, consult the other videos. I believe I weigh those cameras in those videos. And then the distance of the mount hole to the front of the lens here is looking about 11, a little over 11 millimeters. It looks like maybe about 11 and maybe about 11.5 millimeters. So the reason I say this is pretty similar to the Predator Nano and the RunCam Racer Nano is it has all the same kind of specs. Very low latency. It's like 4 millisecond claimed latency. 1000 TV lines, it's PAL and NTSC switchable, and 4.3 and 16.9 switchable, although the sensor on here is a native 4.3 sensor. The voltage range on here is only 3.5 to 5.5 volts, so you'll have to keep that in mind. It's the same as I think the RunCam Racer Nano, whereas the Predator Nano I think does go up to 24, 25 volts. It just has a voltage regulator on that one. I think that's also why that one's a little bit heavier. So keep in mind how you power this. You don't want to fry it. If you put more than 5 volts into this, or 5.5 volts into this, you'll end up frying the camera. Okay, so I got the camera plugged in, powered on, and let's go take a look at the settings here. And so you can see this menu looks awfully familiar. It's pretty much the same one that's on the Predator Nano and the RunCam Racer Nano. I can go down here and go into picture adjust. You can adjust things like brightness, contrast, sharpness, hue, color gain. These are the settings that Caddx has put in as defaults, but obviously there's a wide range of settings you can adjust here. And the flight footage you're going to see at the end is just the stock default settings that you see here. Normally there's a OSD I think here on the bottom, and if you press the up button, you can bring up the name. Basically you can change like your pilot name here. There's a voltage alarm. You can turn all those off and on, so I'm going to actually turn those back on. So turn that on, turn the timer on, turn on the voltage, and then there's this thing called widescreen on and off. So I believe that will turn the image into 16:9 versus 4:3. So currently it's in 4:3, and this is the 16:9 mode, and go back to 4:3. So can't really see too much difference. There's a little bit more image here on the left here. You can see that it's a little bit cut off here in 4:3 mode. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. Not a whole lot of difference, and definitely the vertical field of view looks exactly the same. So I just left it off, and for the widescreen mode I just left it off, and then you can change the TV mode from NTSC to PAL here. Let's go ahead and exit here, and then you see that turns on all the stuff here. And this is, actually that's the beta flight OSD in the way. That's your pilot name here. See, I think that's the voltage, and then this is the power on time. I think this voltage is wrong because the camera is only being powered by 5 volts. Okay, and just kind of looking at the field of view of this lens and some of the distortion, just seem to have a little bit less distortion than some of the other cameras that I've seen, but a little bit less field of view. The vertical field of view is okay, not too bad. The horizontal field of view, I think it's because we're in 4:3 mode, is a little bit less than I think on the Predator Nano, but you get a little bit less distortion. And the image quality on this one seems pretty comparable. The color reproductions are pretty similar to the Predator Nano and RunCam Racer Nano. And yeah, you'll see that in the flight footage. It has a very similar image, especially in bright outdoor conditions, high contrast, and super wide dynamic range is what these cameras are known for. Anyway, so that's going to do it for this video. I'm going to go ahead and roll some flight footage from this camera at the same park that I normally fly at. So you get to compare that to some other cameras in my FPV camera playlist. Just bring up some other videos. I fly all the cameras to the same place, so you guys can do some comparisons if you want. You'll see that it's a pretty similar image to the other cameras I mentioned. Anyway guys, here's some flight footage, and leave me some comments, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.